Irish business will broadly welcome the measures announced in the budget, as it will help sustain consumer spending given the increased inflationary pressures experienced over the last number of months. In relation to the income tax measures that were announced, that will also help in putting some money back in people's pockets, which will help with Ireland's attractiveness as a place to work. Finally, in relation to the R&D tax credit measures that were announced, this will also help with Ireland's appeal to the FDI community. From an income tax perspective, some of the measures that were announced in the budget would include an increase in the personal tax credit, the employee tax credit and the earned income tax credit of €100. In addition, there was an increase in the standard rate cut-off band of €2,000, which means that an individual can now earn up to €42,000 and pay tax at the standard rate of 20%. In addition, there was a reduction in the 4.5% rate of USC to 4%. And finally, from a revenue raising perspective, the Minister for Finance announced an increase in the rate of PRSI of 0.1%, which is to take effect from 1 October 2024. Some of the business tax measures announced in the budget would include an increase in the R&D tax credit from 25 to 30%. The Minister also announced the increase in the first payment threshold from 25,000 to 50,000. From a CGT perspective, the Minister announced the introduction of a reduced rate of CGT for angel investors. The details include a reduced rate of either 16% or 18% on gains up to twice the amount of the initial investment. There's also a lifetime limit of $3 million on this. Further details on this new measure will be included in the finance bill. Finally, from a CGT retirement relief perspective, the Minister announced the introduction of a €10 million limit on the disposal of a business by an individual up to the age of 70 to a child. Some of the housing measures that was announced in Budget 2024 would include measures to encourage landlords to stay within the rental property market. There's also some measures announced to deal with rental pressures for tenants. And finally, mortgage interest relief was introduced for 1 year for homeowners dealing with increased interest rates on their mortgages. Some of the measures that were not included in Budget 2024, which we would have liked to have seen, would include enhancements to the SARP regime, amendments to entrepreneurs' relief to make it more attractive to investors. In addition, the Minister announced the introduction of an exemption for foreign-sourced dividends, which will be included in the Finance Bill 2024. However, we would have liked to see that included in the Finance Bill 2023. All details on the various budgetary measures that were announced in Budget 2024 you will find in our Tax and Times publication at kpmg.ie.